I see. So I'll just let you go with it. If I need someone, you know.
I always have been.
Yeah, they just need some, they came and did an inspection on them, a few things that needed fixed.
You want to start?
And one of them was working all week.
Okay, we'll go ahead and begin. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of Stuart Municipal Utilities, council chambers, Thursday, November 10th at 5:30. We'll do the roll call. Kim?
Here.
Brian?
Here.
Shirley?
Here.
Craig?
Here.
First item on the agenda is the agenda approval and consent agenda. Approval of the minutes, financial statement, and bills as presented. Motion by Shirley, for a second.
Second.
Second by Kim. How do you vote? Brian?
Yeah.
I vote aye. Shirley?
Aye.
Craig?
Aye. Yeah.
The next item is Snyder and Associates, approval of payment for the water contract. Any questions about that? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Craig,
Second.
seconded by Kim. How do you vote? I vote aye.
Aye.
Craig,
Aye.
Kim,
Yeah.
and Brian.
No.
And next item is,
5B.
oh, 5B. Project update. Is there,
There's nobody here from Snyder's to give an update on the project.
okay. How do you guys feel about it?
It's going very well.
Yeah, it's,
They've gotten a long ways.
they have got long ways. I'm really surprised how far they've gotten.
It's great that the weather's held out for them a little bit.
Yeah, with, they can work what until,
There's some debate about that. They can work when it's really cold. They have to winterize their boring machine and their backs every night, which gets pretty labor intensive. So if they want to work a little more, that'd be great. If we have some more warm weeks, I think they will. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have a whole week where every night is freezing temperatures. They might say, "Hey, we'll take this week off." So potentially they could work anytime over the winter they wanted to if we get a warm week or two.
I've seen them, they've done work out by the racetrack and down past your house and up by Wells and Neil Bryan, so they've gotten a long way, so.
They're very nearly done with the main part. They have to still do services next year, but the mains are almost done on the north side. They only have a block or two left and they'll be completely done on the north side.
Good. Okay. Okay, next item is electric access for downtown events. Economic Development Director, Matt Funk.
Okay, all right. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Gus Wagner was not able to be here, so he asked me to print off an email and show him, or give this to you at least. This is on his behalf. And we'll run it out. This response.
There's also electricity up at the, where we do scoop the loop. Or, yeah, it's a pocket park.
So, yeah, so anyways, many people have come to me, making statements that there's not enough power for the events at downtown and lighting. Bob Cook is one that has had many conversations with me regarding lighting for the pocket park, and numerous other people have had conversations with me regarding a lack of power for some of the events that have gone on downtown. So I'm asking you to discuss it and look to see if there's some kind of a solution or ideas. And there's a couple other people that would probably like to speak up and give a little bit of input on that if you allow them.
So Ryan Morrison, I'm here as chamber president, and I was asked to come here on behalf of Seed as well, from some of the members. And it is a problem we have continuously ran into, from power shortages at the park to for events like Good Egg Days, vendors we've had to try to come in, we just don't have adequate power to supply them. When we did the RVTV, we were having some serious problems covering the amount of power that they requested us have. So, a little bit of power at the pocket park and the one by the pole, it's always gotten by up to this point, but our events are just getting too large. The demand on the power is just too great. So we're asking that at least some plan of attack be drawn up for that. We're also going to be speaking at the city council meeting.
If we did that, would the food vendors, food trucks that you got coming in, would that eliminate them using their own generators then?
To some extent, yes, some of them. So when we do an event like this, we usually offer, on the forms we fill out, if we have the adequate power supply, we offer them power at a cost, which then comes back to the city at the end of the event. But in the past, oftentimes we haven't had as much power as they've requested. For instance, 30 amp plugs are at the park. Well, a lot of the food trucks nowadays require either a single 50 amp or two 30 amps. It's just not enough. And the pedestals there can support that kind of power. It's just, they're not set up the way they should be for that. So the park one should be fairly easily adaptable, but the uptown on 2nd Street is a bigger problem because we usually have to find generators to supply power to our vendors or ask business owners to allow us to hook up to their power. But it is a growing problem.
Using rock quarters, I don't think is a good idea, but,
You can go to any small town and they have the same problem. This is not just Stuart.
no, I understand. Is there, where would we put those, if,
Exactly. Where do you want outlets?
I guess that's something we'd have to research a little bit.
We would.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, is approaching that initial stage to say, let's come up with a plan to supply the power that's needed downtown, because these events are growing bigger and bigger every year. And we're already falling short on power needs, so.
I'd like to add as an example, for the RVTV event, we had a first aid tent where I got both Adair and Guthrie County clinics to come together and have a tent together, but they were gassed out by 3 generators.
They're loud, very loud.
Yeah, I sat at the registration desk, and there was a food truck right next to us, and I don't hear well enough anyway, but by the end of the night, I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah. Those food trucks have no problems paying 30, 40, whatever amount we request, because they don't like to use the generators either. But when we don't have an alternative for them, then we end up having 15, 20 generators casting the whole event.
I mean, we've got a group of people that are, I think this is great. When I was on the city council, we couldn't get enough people volunteering or taking interest in town. And now we have people that have got an interest and passionate about Stuart, and we're limited with the resources.
Now, I wanted to speak to that. I know it's hard to spend money, and I think what we're asking for at this point is a feasibility study. But we want to stress to you that this is really an economic development opportunity, and something that I think is going to benefit the community and utilities in particular. When people are looking at the community that they want to live in, they're looking at quality of life. And the events that we're able to offer now, we just had an open house at our office, and several people remarked about what a good time they had at RVTV. The Best of the Block cook-off, I think, is an event that is only going to grow in popularity. And that's the kind of thing, and Scoop the Loop has been wonderful. We bring in people from all over, and they're having a positive experience in Stuart. And like Ryan said, they spend money. It's a good deal. We don't know the best way to do it. It would have been nice if we had planned for outlets when we upgraded the power pole, the light poles. We didn't think of it, and I don't know if the most feasible thing is to run. Ryan or somebody at Seed has talked about greenfield setup where they have boxes in the ground that can be locked up, and there's a piece of grass there between the Scoop and the old fitness center. I don't know if you could buy a 2 foot by 2 foot or whatever you need off of them, because I know nobody wants to cut into the brand new concrete. We're just asking you guys, and we've got a great utility department. I'm sure they've got better ideas than you're getting from us. But this is a crying need. I mean, it's come up at several Seed meetings. I don't go to Chamber, but it sounds like Chamber is also talking about it. This is a real opportunity for us, and we just need some leadership from you guys on the technical side of things.
Well, I guess, obviously, the question here is how much is this gonna cost? And Pat, is there any way we can come up with an estimate of what the cost of something like this would be? I mean, I remember doing this at Good Egg Days, and we would set up something temporary downtown. When we had the carnival down there, they'd set up temporary stuff. And as many projects as we're having, I don't know how feasible that is anymore. But I think we need to find out how much, if we're gonna do this, how much it's gonna cost,
Absolutely.
and who's gonna pay for it.
Well,
And as,
come up with some ideas and some costs, and
as electric codes change for us, it really limits us sometimes as what we can do.
That's my next question, is
Yeah.
would this, if we did something like this, would we be subject to state inspection?
what we do is not subject to the state inspection, but we are still subject to the state code.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So if somebody was to get hurt or electrocuted or something like that, well, then the state comes in and you say, well, why'd you do it this way? Because in the state code book, it says you can't do it this way.
Which is, I think, all the more reason to look at putting in something permanent, so we're doing drop cords and next
That
generators.
would be better.
And, yeah,
That would.
so, anyway, I don't know if anybody else wanted to say something, but
We're just so limited on where we can put boxes.
I understand their limitations, but I think this is something that I think needs a push forward. And, you know, if you come up with options and costs, we can figure out, you know, where the dollars are gonna come from, but we need some forward motion on
You
this.
guys can do that. in your
I
spare
agree
time,
with
can't you?
Warren, I guess, Ryan brought up Greenfield able to provide this without a problem, so I don't understand what the problem would be to try to get some cost estimates to do that. Businesses along downtown are already paying double tax rates and double, utility and water rates, so I guess, they're asking us to do something, I think we should at least try it.
Greenfield's got a courthouse. They can put this stuff, and we don't have anything like that. That's the difference. So it's gonna be a little more difficult for us to, do something. Not saying we can't, we can look into it and see what we can come up with. And maybe in the places where we do have power existing, maybe we can put more, maybe we can increase the size of the wiring and put in bigger outlets like you were saying, and maybe that would be part of the solution.
When do you wanna pull that together? I know you can probably do that in your spare time, can't you, guys?
You guys are just twiddling your thumbs, right? Looking for something to
I mean, are we looking at a month, are we looking at 2 months? Pull that information, I mean, you probably have to work with some of the downtown people and.
I don't really want to get an engineer too bad unless we have to.
Yeah, let's-
I mean, that's something we can look at and try to come up with a cost, come up with some ideas. And, another.
Is that something Snyder can do for us, without charging us, to just give us an estimate and,
Snyder's don't do electrical projects.
It'd be DGR.
what's that?
It'd be
Snyder.
DGR.
Yeah, it would. And DGR is already working for us, doing other stuff, so. Maybe they could do something like that, but. It's just gonna be a matter of where we put stuff, how much, and
I think we're gonna depend on Matt, you and your development people to help Pat and his staff where we might put that stuff, where the best place for you would be. And then we can tell you if that's gonna be feasible or not.
Well, really, I think largely, at this point, we've made do in ways with what's already out there. So we're pretty flexible. We're able to move people around to try and get them as close to power as possible. There's just not enough of it there.
What I'm trying to say is that you've pretty much got the idea of where you want this stuff. It's just, we need more of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest concern, is getting more there. When we're working through these maps to figure out where everybody's gonna be and how the layout, the more power locations, there are more flexibility we have, but we run into the same thing and time again, is usually it's a power problem. I mean, even water sometimes is a problem. But with even just more access, it greatly helps these events grow. And less of the generators and water tanks and that we've had to pull up there.
Something would be better than nothing.
Yeah.
how about we get together with Matt, Dustin and I, and if anybody else wants to come along too, we will go and physically look for different places to put power. and see if it's feasible or not. And where we have power, we can maybe put more. There-
Okay,
That's about all we can do for the time being, I guess. We can just put our heads together and try to figure out what we're gonna do.
and then if we can, come up with some costs on it too.
Yeah.
perhaps.
And we'll come up with some costs, and depending on what we do, the supply chain is killing us right now. And if we need pedestals, with outlets in them and things like that, and all that, a lot of that stuff over a year out.
So, yeah, I understand there's gonna be hurdles and cost will be a hurdle, but so we can't jump a hurdle until we know how far down the track it
Well,
is and
Pat should
how
be
high.
able to tell you if we decide what we need, if we can get it.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem, that's the issue we have with a lot of this.
Yeah, let's find out what the hurdles will be and then.
Okay.
When I talk to my vendors and things like that, and if we wanna add a transformer somewhere, well, we could use out of stock, but I hate to do that in case we need one in an emergency. And some of the transformers, we can't get till 2025, so. I mean, that's the hurdles that we're looking at. The material is just not available for us right now. But it doesn't mean we can't plan for it.
We can take the first step and.
We can come up with a plan, and then things have to change eventually. There's gotta be material become available. And over time, we'll get it figured out, but I just hope you don't expect, like in April, we're all the material, because it won't. So we're working on now, with our engineer, they've been almost drawn or come to a halt just because we can't get material. It's hard to get wire, it's hard to get anything.
I think everybody would understand that, it's just, even if it's a
I just want
2-year
everybody
issue.
to understand, it's not gonna be probably this coming spring.
Matt,
but
do you wanna pull a meeting like that together?
Yeah.
And, contact Pat, Dustin, and, when you're ready to meet, and we'll see if we can get moving here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, okay? Board members, any questions? Okay. City administrator reports.
Start with our financial statement. On the first page, shows that we have 10 million cash on hand in the bank. With the page 2, the balance between the beginning of July 1st, 2022 and the end of October, we have lost 1.6 million. That's just because of the water project. There's no actual loss, there's around 366. So, on page 3, we still within our budget. Our budget is 3.7 million, we spent 3 million, so we're getting close to our budget, but we'll amend it when the time comes. Page 4, same scenario, the beginning of October and the end of October, we lost $381,818, all because of the water budget. The next page is the breakdown of the budget. You will see on the water budget that we exceeded, that's because of the water project. We will amend that. The budget overall for the utility is still wasn't the budget, but for the water is over budget, and we will amend that when the time comes to amend the budget. Is the check mark on the right hand, shown on page 1. And page 2, 3. The next report is the delinquent account payment report. There is no change. That takes you all the way to page 3. Next report is the payment agreement. We have 4 people with a check mark on the right hand without saying names. Next report is paid in full payment agreement. We have 2 shown on page 1. And the second one shown on page 3. And that takes you all the way to page 6, which is the end of the report. Next, we go to the budget billing report. We already added 1 person at the balance page. Next we go to deceased or bankrupt, no change, and the last we go is offset with law, just for your information how much we could. That feels good, okay?
And thank you, Ash.
That's it.
Next item is public forum.
I would mind saying a little something about our leak and our boil advisory that everyone I'm sure is familiar with. It was due to a large main break and it caused a low pressure event. You guys probably know all this. That's what kicked us into that. But it's become pretty apparent that we could improve our communications when this happens. And so this time, you might remember the last time we utilized Guthrie County Emergency Management. They can send out like a phone calls to everybody to notify. And last time we did that in 13, there was issues that just contacted a lot of people that weren't within our service boundary. It was calling everyone with a Stuart address. So we've met with emergency management. They can tailor it now to where it will just affect just our customers. We can dial it in, they can dial it in better. So we're gonna try a real hard push. You might have already seen the sign at the city hall for people to sign up for this. Basically, you can text and sign up for it, or you can create an account if you want an actual phone call. But we'd like to get the word out on that. That way, should this happen again, we can have better communication. We've gone over our protocol of who's on our call list and who will be notified, so we can improve that. And one thing we kind of spoke about, we talked with Stuart Police. You know, they maintain a Facebook page, and we've always kind of stayed away from a Facebook presence because we don't want to do utility business through a Facebook page. But so many people seem to really rely on Facebook to be able to get some news. So the police department runs theirs. There is some commenting on theirs. We would like to do something similar to what they've done, but more of just an information page only. There wouldn't be a lot of communicating back and forth with customers. It would just be if we need to get some information out, we would be able to do that through a Stuart Utility Facebook page. And we just thought we'd get the board's opinion on this. Talking with Dave, police chief, he kind of explained how they handle it, and it seems like it's pretty workable. You know, a couple of their staff members maintain theirs, and we would have a couple of our staff members maintain a page like us. Is that something that the board is interested in us doing?
Great for people that are savvy with Facebook, but there's probably 50% of the town is the age that they don't care.
Yeah.
You know, but I know you wanted to be put out that
I do not.
I didn't even hear about it until I was up at the church and somebody says, oh, there's a boiler, and I was working up there doing something. I
He called
needed
me
water.
and says, gotta boil your water. You know, that was about 7 o'clock in the morning.
But now I listen to the radio station and I, you know.
Yeah, we did try to get it out there, and I think that
But one thing that hindered that, Ben, was that it happened at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
there were a lot of challenges, and I think we did the best we could in the middle of the night. But you can always look back afterwards and you can say there's ways to improve this, and I think we're.
Oh, when you should have been
doing those
calling
things.
like at 6 or 7 in the morning, you were probably down the bottom of that hole.
Yeah. As soon as we got to going on it, we didn't get away from there until it was fixed, and that wasn't until the afternoon. So, the Facebook thing we bring up not as a catch-all. It's just a way to reach a few more people, and we do several things. Hopefully, it will reach as many as we can. But we thought we better discuss that a little bit before we.
Can we put something in our billing?
We are,
I mean,
yes.
if the emergency management thing, or text is gonna happen, they have to sign up for that, is that what I understand?
Yes, yep.
Okay,
I think it's real simple, why
The utility bills explain it to you.
So,
yeah,
yeah, you just sign up for that.
Yes.
Really easy phone ring in the middle of the night or
Well,
something.
then it just gives you something.
It just
Say
gives you-
text back here. Yeah.
Well, it'll just give you a message.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's a great idea. I mean, that was one thing that, you know, I saw time and time again, you know, obviously I'm on Facebook, I see things, you know, people complained about the lack of communication out there. You know, I think having that page would be great, and, you know, obviously it's gonna be a public page. People can share those updates to the local Facebook groups, which helps to get that word out along with their personal pages. You know, I think the option for the emergency management calls is another great addition. Obviously, getting the word out, utility bills is gonna be vital, so people can't say, well, I didn't read Facebook to know what's out there. We'll say, it's been in the bill, it's been here, it's been there, we'll have that opportunity. Now, one thing I liked when we had that training session a week or so ago, the gal was saying one thing she has happened is whenever there is an issue, that those issues get reported to her or gets reported to council or gets reported to the utility board as kind of a first round of defense. You know, I would like to see, because obviously I think a lot of us were blindsided by that. Like, we had no idea, you know, I got my updates from the school, you know, oh, hey, there's boil order. Oh, okay, well, you know, I think it'd be great. Obviously, I know you guys have your job to do, and updating certain things is not going to be priority one, but to get information out to the utility board as quickly as possible, I think is going to be a great route to go too. Along with getting that pushed out to the public via the Facebook page, via the emergency management system.
Yeah, and with our new protocol, we went ahead and we added all the board members. You individually are all on the list. So, the only question with that is, if it happens in the middle of the night, do you wish to be called? You know, do you want to wait till the morning at a reasonable time? Do you want to call in the
Ben
middle
called
of
me
the
at
night?
1 o'clock in the morning. Do you guys want that, or would you rather wait till?
Because that's something we grapple with.
Yeah, no big deal.
I'm used to on-call calls in the middle of the night. It's not going to affect me.
I'm
So.
up
Are
and
you
down all
sending a
night.
text, because my phone's in the other room, so you can send it and I'll look at first thing. I'm up at 5,
Yeah,
if you're up at 5,
I
I'll.
really didn't, yeah,
But
like I say, Patrick called me and told me about the boil order, but I didn't think too much about it because Patrick's the biggest gossip in town.
I heard mine from Casey's.
Is that right?
Yep,
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Any place that was open got a call that night. We did call both TV stations.
All three.
Yeah, all three channels, really no help. But 813 and between the TV and the radio and the businesses, it reached a lot of people that could have been better. Definitely could have been better. So I think we're in a
So
position.
you're saying you're gonna put a deal in the paper to say that they can sign up, so they have
Yes.
a warning
And
on their phone, okay?
have explanation, and we will be putting it on the website. You gotta see it on that sign,
Okay.
on the corner, and we have here flyers all over the city halls for people to get.
You know, maybe that's something we should do like once every 6 months or something. Slip that into the billing just to
Yeah, that's a good idea.
keep people informed as to, if they don't do it now, they might
They
need
just
to do it
moved to
later.
town, they need to be
Yeah,
signed up or something, yeah.
Okay, thanks,
Now-
Ben.
I real quick on that now, is there any sort of re-sign up process for those alerts? Like every year it makes you re-sign up, or is it doing anything like that you're aware of?
I don't
I
believe
don't
so.
think so. I
Okay.
think once you're on it for good, you can't get off.
I think a lot of people, I'm sure, will be getting texts when they moved away, but I think it's one of those reply to stop kind of things.
Okay.
Take it back on. So.
Well, I need to, Ben and I talked about this, and Pat and I talked about it too, that we need to give a shout out to our contractors because they jumped right in the hole and helped us fix that. And I'm sure it was a big help, so.
Yeah, we did a much bigger repair than we would have done because we had the help. They stopped by. Instead of just putting a small repair, we took about 30 feet of 10-inch pipe out and replaced it to hopefully take care of this. Because that break was in almost the exact same spot
Yeah,
as last
that's
time,
right.
just a few feet away. So
Shirley, you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was just about exactly in the same
So
spot.
what's causing it, since it's only been like, what, 12 years? Has it
it's been 9 years since that other. I I think it just has to do with that pipe when that was installed through there was put in under stress, like they had kind of bent the pipe over a high spot. It could have something to do, there's a lot of heavy traffic goes in and out of there too. But I don't know, cause
Is
the
the
condition of
problem
the
with
pipe.
drainage there would be a potential problem, Ben, or?
There's a perpetual puddle there.
Yeah.
So that could have something to do with it. It's hard to say. I will say this, when we get our new tower in service and we get some of these new mains, it's gonna put us in a position where it would be hard for this to happen again, because we will have enough storage at that point that we'll have time to react, with this tower being so small, when we have a leak like that, it just drains the tower in about 10 or 15 minutes. And by the time you get in, you start shutting valves, it's too late. You've lost it.
150,000 gallons in about 10 minutes. Okay.
Well, you got right on it, guys.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good job, that's right. So, anything else? Okay, we stand adjourned.
Yeah, but I know that, it's, yeah. It won't take much.